Right, it is lesson 2, which is 6-7, so make sure you've got your SAB open to the correct page. Homework journal nearby would be a good idea, and you should also have out a sharpened pencil. So, something I want you to know about this lesson today, my plan is to actually go through the first page totally with you, and then the second page, I'm going to have you pause. I really want you to work out those problems on your own, and then you should use the time to then check your answers with me rather than just listening to me the whole time. Obviously, we're on the honor system here. I really hope you'll do that, but it's only if you're feeling comfortable and if you feel like you're understanding it, but I still think it would be pretty good practice. So let's go ahead and get started. This is asking you for some more comparison problems, which is a really fancy way of saying these are word problems. You got to figure out whether you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. Except for these ones, they specifically tell you that it's either going to be adding or multiplying. So it says, for each problem, draw a model. I'm okay with you not. And write additive or multiplicative, who knows, to identify the type of comparison. Then write and solve an equation to solve the problem. Okay? So, newborn baby Leela is 44.5 centimeters tall. Her older brother Tremaine is 4 times as tall. So how tall is Tremaine? Well, they literally give you the answer right there. This is going to be a multiplicative, we'll write multi. This is going to be a multiplicative problem. And what do you think your equation is here? Well, it tells us that baby Leela is 44.5 centimeters tall and that Tremaine is 4 times as tall. So that's going to tell us the height of Tremaine, so I wrote that down as a T, like it told me to do. Okay? Well, then it actually says I need to solve that problem. So I'm going to come over here off to the side. I'm going to stack this problem, and I'm going to multiply it. Good news is that I don't have to worry about decimals till the very end. So 4 times 5 is 20. Carry my 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. Carry the 1. And then 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17. I had one number after the decimal point, so I need one number after the decimal point. So that tells me my answer is that T equals 178 centimeters. All right, let's look at number 2. Brandon has a 1/4 cup of flour, and he would like to make a recipe that requires 1 5/8 cup of flour. How many more cups of flour are needed for this recipe? Okay, well, more is kind of your hint on this one. This is going to be an addition problem, or what they're calling an additive comparison. I'm really tongue-tied today. I apologize. Okay? So he's got 1/4. He needs 1 5/8. So we need to figure out how to get from 1/4 to 1 5/8. So the way we're actually going to write this one, this is actually going to end up being a subtraction problem, but we're going to write it down as an addition. So this is like he has 1/4 cup of flour, and he needs to add some mystery amount, which we are, oops, I made a goof. I'm going to backtrack just a little. He had 1/4 cup of flour, and we need to add some sort of mystery amount of cups to then equal this 1 5/8 cups of flour. So we already know this. In order to balance an equation, you have to do the same to the left and the right. So if I have a positive 1/4 over here, in order to get rid of it, I am going to subtract 1/4 from both sides. So the good news is that those two cancel each other out. But over here, when I go to subtract 1/4, I hope you notice to start that this actually can't be done just yet. You can't do 5/8 minus 1/4 because your 1/4 is not a common denominator. Hopefully you're seeing pretty quickly what that common denominator should be. I see 8 and 4, which tells me that this just needs to get changed to 8ths. So I am going to now rewrite this. This is going to be 1 5/8. And instead of it being 1/4, I'm going to subtract 2/8. So now all I have to do is 5 minus 2 is 3. I ran out of room over there, so I'm going to rewrite it over here. That's going to be 3/8, and then 1 minus nothing is 1. So the actual answer to that problem is that he needs 1 3/8 cups in order to finish out his recipe. Next one says, Imani completed a 200-meter race in 25.06 seconds. Talia completed the same race in 1.17 fewer seconds. how long did it take Talia to complete the race? Well, this is just difference between the two, and I know this is a little confusing, but they told you that it's either additive or multiplicative. Multiplicative? Gosh, I still can't say that word. So even though it looks like a subtraction problem, I'm gonna write down additive, and I'm gonna show you why. We're gonna take the difference between the two, which will then give us our answer to help us figure out how far Talia went in the race or how long it took her to run the race. And so it is technically a subtraction problem, but we're finding the difference between the two here. So we're going to write down how long it took for Imani to run the race, which was 25.06 seconds. And then we are going to subtract the 1.17 seconds that Talia was able to go faster. And that's going to end up telling us how long it took Talia to complete the race. So now this is just one where you can simply stack the two and subtract from each other. And this one's going to require some serious borrowing. So we can't do 6 minus 7. So I'm going to borrow from this 5 to make it a 4. This 0 first becomes a 10. But now I get to borrow from it and make it a 9, and so this can become a 16. So 16 minus 7 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. Bring down my decimal point. 4 minus 1 is 3, and then bring down the 2. That means that Talia was able to run the race in 23.89 seconds. That's a weird one that it says additive, so thanks for being flexible on that one. Our last one is actually also going to be a multiplicative. Oh gosh. Blah blah blah. And but you're going to actually see that this one kind of looks a little bit like division as well. So it says a high school has 1,446 students enrolled. A middle school has 1/6 as many. So we need to find out what 1/6 of this number is. Well, that means you're going to be finding 1/6 groups of 1,446. And I know I've told you in the past to try to cross-cancel first, but that's too hard. Instead, you should just be finding what, you should multiply across, which is going to give you 1,446 over 6, and this is where you're going to be able to just simply divide. So let me give myself a little bit more room. 1,446 divided by 6 means that 6 goes into 14 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. Then I'll bring down this 4. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 4 times 6 is 24. That has nothing left over. And so I finally bring down my 6, and 6 goes into 6 one time to finish out this problem. So that means then that this was my equation, and my answer would be 241 students. All right, so let's look at the next page. This one, the directions say write an equation and use it to solve the problem, draw a model if you need to, and that's kind of exactly what I want you to do. I want you to think of this as your practice that I want you to do for math today. Sorry, the hiccups, guys. What's new? It's just like we're in the classroom. I would really like you to pause this video, and I would like you to solve these problems, 5 through 11. And it might take you 20, 30 minutes, however long it takes. And then I would like you to come back and play the rest of this video so you can see what the answers are. If you get a couple of answers wrong, or let's say if you get more than 2 answers wrong, it's probably a good idea to log into a Zoom call and see if you can figure out how to do those problems correctly. Okay? So go ahead and pause at this point, and when you come back, I'll give you all the answers. All right? Hopefully you're back after following those directions. It asked for an equation and the answer, and again, I'm not going to necessarily walk you through all these. Instead, I'm just going to show you the equations and the answers that I came up with. If your equation's a little different than mine, but you still came up with the same answer, that's totally fine. Okay, so I'm going to make my pen a little smaller so this can be a little easier to read. So this basically is P equals 296,943 minus 155,416. And then basically that's telling you your answer ended up being 141,527 people. Okay. For number 6, a woodworking machine decreased... Oh, I forgot. I'm not actually reading these. I'm just giving you the answer. What's new? I forgot. Okay, I equals 3/4 minus 9/16. And then that means that I equals 3/16 of an inch. For number 7, it ends up being H equals 192 times 9. So H, excuse me, H is 1,728 square feet. Okay, let's look at the last part. Number 8 is C. Oh gosh. C equals 14.25. Sorry, gotta get rid of that box. Okay, 14.25 plus 15.70. And so therefore C will equal $29.95. Number 9, T equals 40 divided by 50. So T, I don't know exactly how you solve this one, so I'm going to give you 2 choices. You could either tell me that it was 4/5 times as long, or you could tell me that it was 0.8 times as long. Just depends on what way you solve that one. Okay, number 10, T equals 25.6 divided by 3.2. So then T would actually equal 8 times as tall. 8 times as tall. And then down here for number 11, M equals 1/6 times $776. So M would equal $48.50. Okay, so let's talk options here. If you ended up doing that work like I asked, and so you finished all of these problems with me, then you're done for today. But if you decided just to watch instead and you need to do some work, I would either recommend doing the 6-7 homework pages or going off to iExcel to check the weekly plan and see what it is you're supposed to do to show your work this week, okay? Remember, if you missed a few of those word problems and you want help, you don't understand what you did wrong, log into a Zoom call and I would be happy to help you out.